The collective state went on to report that soon Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, Kentucky, and Canada would all become Indiana. Persons close to Phoenix area friends Jake Welter and Mike Seflin confirmed Friday that the two men are absolutely incapable of greeting each other like normal human beings.
Beep, 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 beep.
Sources say the two full-grown men simply cannot walk into a room and shake each other's hands, relying instead on elaborate dances, forced pop culture references, and extended fake fighting. Neither Welter nor Seflin was available for comment as they were busy pretending to rip each other's faces off.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And among the things that has been driven crazy by COVID-19 is just the American population in general. Apparently, 82% of people are now wanting a monthly stimulus check.
Woo! Free money!
But I mean...
Yeah! Well, free to me money.
Yeah, but did you doubt that,
I doubted it would be that high.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
82%. Because I didn't think 82% of people were that stupid.
You think that there's economic literacy in the United States?
I don't think there's much literacy of any type in the United
there's
States.
literacy. They can read.
Well, okay.
Most people can read pretty well. I mean, or at least fair enough.
Well, then they
can
should read an economics book.
Well, the only economics I was ever, let me put quotes around that, the only economics I was ever exposed to was the government economics class that I was forced to take in government school that taught me that inflation was a rise in prices.
Yeah, which isn't correct.
No.
That's just a rise in prices, right?
Inflation, one of the common sort of side effects is a rise in prices. But
Right.
inflation is an increase in the money supply. They didn't talk anything about that. They didn't talk about, the money system or anything in regards to that.
Yeah, but you would think, so 82%, so this has to be some conservatives if this is an accurate poll. So you think that the smaller government types out there would in fact understand how inflation works.
Well, it would be interesting to get a breakdown because a lot of polls, they do a demographic breakdown or party by party breakdown. Do you know which polling company this was?
It's called One Poll.
One Poll?
One Poll.
Okay.
Yes. So according to a recent poll from One Poll, 82% of Americans believe that a one-time stimulus check of $1,200 from the CARES Act is not enough to pay for living expenses in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, they also just passed another $1,200 one-time payment bill, didn't they?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't either.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I know the Democrats had proposed a $2,000 a month stimulus package, so-called stimulus. I mean, it's silly to use that term.
I think they're still working on that one.
I think so. I don't think that's happened yet, and the Republicans are probably going to oppose it, but then again, it'll be politically unpopular if they do, so I wouldn't count on them to be universally opposed to it.
I mean, why stop at $2,000? If you're going to wreck the economy, go ahead and go all the way.
Go $1 million.
Cut each American $1 million check every month. It's going to have exactly the same effect, just in a smaller quantity.
Well, the Democrats are also suggesting another stimulus package, which I believe is $3 trillion, which would bring up, they've already surpassed $2.
Yeah, it's gone past $2. It wouldn't surprise me if it hit $10 trillion by the time the year was over.
I think that's exactly what is happening here.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've realized that it's over. The dollar. I think you might even have an article, Ian, talking about how the dollar is on its way out. I think that they know that it's over, and hey,
wait, who? The government knows it? You mean
the government and the string pullers and the yes, they know that it is reached its peak tipping point.
It has
so let's just go ahead and go out with a blast.
I don't think that's their motivation at all. They want to maintain control for sure.
Absolutely.
And the destruction of the dollar works counter to that.
Absolutely. And they've already I've seen too many memes out there that Trump just won the election just because of his $2 trillion stimulus package, and now the Democrats are trying to outdo him.
They're going to outspend each other.
Yeah, because they want to win, but I don't know how their guy is going to get anywhere unless they replace him with someone. I'm talking of creepy old dementia Biden.
Well, that's what I would expect from a political system as broken as ours. It's just two political parties desperately trying to outspend each other to buy the American public.
That's totally what
That's
this election is going to be.
That's how they've always done it.
This election is going to be that, and it's going to be, all the fear and the finger pointing of, well, if we would have been in charge, the Democrats are going to say, well, if we were in charge, we would have done this better than those Republicans, and the Republicans are going to say, well, if they were in charge, they would have done it worse, and they'll all talk about what they would do and how it's going to be okay if you just elect them in the future. But to go back to what you were saying about debasing the money supply being some sort of a clue to people, that it would somehow, shake them out of their complacency. Let's look at Venezuela as an example of how long you can get away with debasing the money supply. I mean, they've really done a doozy on the Venezuelan bolivar over the last 2 decades.
Isn't there a bolivar on the wall over there?
There's, I think, it's a 2 bolivar note, but it's also sitting next to a $10 trillion note
Yes.
from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
So again, talking about how long they can get away with this, the bolivar has been debased for almost 2 decades heavily. They have done it so bad that they've actually had to rebrand the bolivar, to relaunch, to essentially try to fool people. Now, obviously, there's some people who figured it out, right? Like, there's plenty of people in Venezuela who know the bolivar's worth not even worth the paper it's printed on. So they know it's not worth much. But Maduro's still sitting pretty in office, and he's still fat. Okay, so he's still eating pretty well. So
don't you love fat dictators?
Right,
Kim Jong-un. I'm thinking
the first time they debased the
late
currency.
Kim Jong-un.
Oh yeah, he's been replaced, right?
It seems that way.
By his stunt double.
Maybe, but in this case, they knocked 3 zeros off when they went from the bolivar to the bolivar fuerte. And I forget which year that was.
So they just added a suffix to it and was like, hey, it's a new currency now.
Fuerte is strong in Spanish, so it means strong bolivar. Okay. When in point of fact, it was actually weaker, right? Because it had weakened to the point where they had to take 3 zeros off, which would mean the 1,000 bolivar note became a 1 bolivar note. Imagine that. Right, we don't even have enough zeros on our dollars to make it possible. From 100, that would make a $100 bill a 1 cent. That's what the kind of massive change we're talking about here. And that went ahead. The Bolivar Fuerte went ahead for some number of years before, I believe it was 2018, when they got rid of the Bolivar Fuerte and they launched the Bolivar Soberano.
So they've done this multiple times.
Yes.
Okay.
Which means the Soberano means sovereign. Now the bolivar is sovereign. It is the king. It is the best bolivar yet. And they knocked 5 zeros off from the bolivar this time. So a 500,000 bolivar note became a 5 bolivar note. And Maduro's still in office. So, I mean, they've been doing this forever in Venezuela, and the money is worth a hill of beans there, but yet the bolivar continues.
Well,
so what makes you think it's going to, all of a sudden, if they do that same crap here, that it's going to somehow cause a revolution or somehow cause people to be, to want change? I don't know, man. I'm not optimistic about that.
Well, I don't think it will cause revolution for sure. I don't think it will cause any of that. I just am surprised that 82% of Americans are dumb enough to believe that this is the way out.
Yeah, but they still have food in their pantries. That's going to be the tipping point. Whenever people start getting hungry, when we're talking about revolution, how do we get the people to rise up? It's going to be empty bellies.
Well, remember, when the federal government or any central bank prints money into existence, normally it's spent through political means and goes to the friends of the politicians, right? So it'll go to the military-industrial complex. It'll go to whatever construction companies are building the bridges or whatever, government contracts are being handed out. So then it filters down into the rest of the economy. This is different, because they're actually printing the money and giving it to the average person first. So it will have some kind of buying power for a short moment.
Your friends that you were speaking of, they are getting a big part of that stimulus.
Which friends?
The big pharma, big military.
Those are my friends.
Big ag. They're definitely
they're getting a piece of it too.
This time around, the little folk, the peons, are getting a sizable check in their eyes.
Right.
But if you compare it to the bigger pizza,
nothing.
it's just a little tiny sliver.
But
Well, isn't that the way that the stimulus worked under George W. Bush as well? Where like the
but what was that, $300?
Yeah,
It wasn't as much.
The average person got $300, and something like $600 billion went to various corporations and banks and stuff, and they all got bailed out.
And people were happy, right? Oh, they happily went and cashed the check and bought whatever.
I didn't even notice. I think I paid off a little bit of my truck, and it was over. It was gone.
855-450-3733. What do you plan to do with your next bribe from the government? 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This COVID-19 thing has turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it has changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They are fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils, plus a hint of menthol, was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And the Next Generation Wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. But there's no need to wait. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, which allow anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's DIVI project.org. And cryptocurrencies are great right now because, as we're learning here, looking at this article from Forbes, the average American is economically illiterate. 76% of self-identified Republicans and 84% of self-identified Democrats believe that the U.S. should consider universal health care. Now, that's more than 3/4 of Republicans.
Wow.
Being essentially on board with universal health care.
So much for the small government Republicans, huh?
They hate the Affordable Care Act, which I get it. It's an awful thing.
Obamacare.
Everything the government does is an awful, broken mess.
But if it was Trump care,
there you go.
Then they'd be behind it.
There you go.
Well, I mean, have any of these people not seen the VA? Do they know nothing?
Maybe that's the 25% or whatever that aren't in favor of it.
Well, and the 16% of Democrats. That's terrifyingly small. 63%, not broken down by affiliation, says that student loans should not have to be paid now. 55% say that mortgage and rent payments should be frozen during COVID-19.
How come nobody ever asks about property taxes? How come these polls don't ask, should we freeze property tax payments?
For sure. You would think that if they were going to suspend, rent and all of these other things, that it would also include suspending property taxes.
No. They're talking about, apparently, and Conan, you might have heard about this, that here in New Hampshire and Keene, where we are, there's supposedly a discussion amongst the city council about putting a hold on interest on unpaid property taxes. So I don't know for how long they're gonna freeze the interest, because normally it's a 12% per year. So if you don't pay property taxes, oh no, I think they actually reduced it to 8, didn't they?
But this is just for late payments.
This is just for late payments, right? So you'll still owe them the money. It's just maybe they'll let you slide on the interest for the late payments, and for how long they'll let you slide.
So the interest on late payments is 8%.
It used to be 12. I think I heard that they reduced it, if I recall correctly. And then when I say they, I mean the state. That's the state set number.
When you consider that school has been shut for 3 months, and they're not even talking. They're not even going to be opening until the fall. Where are they spending all that school budget?
Must be on Zoom. I don't know.
I'd like to get some of that, some of those millions back.
Yeah.
That obviously aren't being spent to heat the house or heat the school to provide lighting and whatnot. So there should be a lot of savings.
Should be some serious savings there.
But screw this cancellation of interest. Just let's talk about
an actual reduction,
and or freezing municipal spending. I would be all over that.
They're not even going to talk about that. I don't think that's even going to come up.
No, they're too busy. Our Democrats here in New Hampshire are petitioning Sununu, Prince Sununu.
No, His Highness. His Excellency.
His Excellency to mandate the wearing of masks in New Hampshire.
Well, it ain't going to happen because I'm not going to do it. And I can tell you,
they can mandate whatever they want.
There wasn't a single customer. Aria and I went out to Thirsty Owl, which is a local watering hole, and they serve food and they take cryptocurrency. And now that His Highness has allowed restaurants to open, with all his wisdom, that they can now serve outdoors. So we were outside. Not a single customer had a mask on.
Good.
I didn't see one. Did you?
Good.
No. And
more remarkable, though, is the fact that there were like 15 to 20 people cramped onto that small patio.
Yeah.
All sitting in close proximity to one another?
Well, they sort of made an effort to put the tables away from one another. Like there's a sign on the door that says social distancing, 6 feet, masks inside. suggesting that you have to wear a mask to go inside, but I didn't wear a mask inside. No one I saw was wearing a mask inside, including the employees, which I was grateful to see. So, like, it's going to be to the point where if I go out, I don't want to be served by someone wearing a mask.
Wow.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that. I want to, like, if I go out to a restaurant, I want to tell them that I would prefer my server not have a mask on and see what they do.
Well, I just received a report that our Walmart, Dirt Mart, there was only about 15% mask wearers inside the establishment.
Report from somebody that just happened to be walking through,
just,
or a worker?
Just recently.
Okay.
So that's
sounds
that's
about
good
like
news.
The numbers that I see.
I'm thinking my issue with me, last week, if anyone caught that show, that's all I was talking about was the mask wearer. I think the town that I run mail in, just north of us, a little yuppie town, I think the people there are just crazy. I think the whole town is crazy.
Are they more likely to wear masks or something? Like,
they were. I was passing joggers with masks.
Why?
Bicyclists. Everyone in their cars.
That sounds like a really bad plan.
People sitting out in their yards, out in the middle of the woods with their masks on. I think it's just that town. I think that my optimism is coming back.
Keene is like a lefty town. You would think you'd see more of it in Keene
But there's a lot of.
But there's so much rebellious spirit
here. There was
New Hampshire.
There's some rebels in Keene.
Okay.
I'm thinking especially the downtown areas.
My point about Thirsty Owl, though, was that, that's not a huge capacity for a building their size. If we had been allowed to seat inside, there would have been no problem with every separate party maintaining social distancing.
True.
But because His Excellency King Sununu, in his infinite wisdom, said we had to all be cramped into this 25 by 25 square foot space, we were all right next to each other.
Did you see the meme that has two photos, top and bottom? One is like a camper at a campground alone, and then beneath that is a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And the top one says, not okay, and the bottom says, okay. Who's making these decisions? Right?
Did you see the one where it's an actual photograph of something some idiotic city council did where you can walk this particular trail, but you can't ride a bike down it. And it's because of COVID-19.
Or you can go to the beach, but you can't swim.
I haven't heard that one.
Or you can't take chairs to sit. You can only walk. Or you can't bike at the beach. There's all kinds of stupid rules. It's just whatever floats their boat, whatever they are thinking is the right way to do this.
Well, I heard a rumor there might be some sort of a Memorial Day beach party coming up on Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm off on Monday.
Yeah.
This could be interesting.
Because I've heard that the king here
up by Portsmouth.
Yeah, I think it's called Hampton Beach. I've heard that King Sununu has decreed that no one shall go on the beaches.
Sounds like someone needs to go.
Could be a lot of fun. Yeah. And his house.
I've been needing some sun.
I haven't even seen our beach yet.
Sununu's house is in the area too, so we could go there on the way back.
This sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
So other idiocy, the U.S. dollar, it seems to be breaking, according to the story that you brought in, or it seems to be in dire straits. And that isn't very surprising when, 79% of Americans want more money going to people who are literally producing nothing because they're unemployed. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Frustrated Superman fans told reporters Monday that the economically healthy and financially stable Daily Planet newspaper is now the most unrealistic aspect of the comic books universe. Acknowledging that enjoying the adventures of a superhero that can fly, lift cars over his head, and shoot beams of light out of his eyes requires some suspension of disbelief, longtime readers said even the comic's most exciting stories are regularly ruined by the implausibility of a thriving daily newspaper, whose advertising revenue and circulation numbers have not at all been threatened by a media landscape overtaken by laptops, smartphones, and aggregation websites.
Look, I could play along with Superman using his breath to freeze a volcano or clapping his hands together to cause some sort of sonic boom, but seeing images of a thriving Daily Planet newsroom not facing layoffs or dwindling home subscriptions just really takes me out of the story. No one in Metropolis has realized they could get news online faster and for free?
This is the Onion News Network.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com that allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site. And all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted, which means that you finally have a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Again, that's local.bitcoin.com. And let's go to the phones. We've got Ben Tomlinson calling via the Discord server at discord.freetalklive.com. Ben, you're on Free Talk Live.
I just wanted to add to the conversation about the masks. I think very much it's fear in everyone, and very much adds to the illusion of security that wearing the masks. They make them feel safe, even if it's irrational to wear them, like if they're jogging or running or on their bikes. So I think it's very much who are afraid and conditioned to be afraid.
What worries me is the sanctimonious aspect of it. I imagine these people sitting out in their backyards by themselves wearing these masks, just feeling good about themselves, like they're doing something positive for society.
The very definition of virtue signaling.
Yes.
It makes them feel good, and it makes them feel good amongst their peers.
I'm doing something.
And
I helped.
I changed my avatar, my Facebook avatar. I'm wearing my face mask.
And they hate you if you don't signal their virtue.
What I have seen in the last 2 weeks, most definitely, this new move from the Democrats, from the left-leaning people out there to wear your masks and to mandate it and to shame everyone around them who isn't. The reason it has gone this far is because they have, in their minds, decided that the right-leaning people are against it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is politics right now.
I haven't experienced any mask shaming. I mean, there have been a few people who have filed reports about me at work, and other people who aren't wearing masks. But I mean, those are just Karens.
Hold on? Are you excluding the hecklers that shouted at us at the sign holdings that we've done? Because I'm pretty sure there was at least one or two people there that were like, "Wear your mask," blah blah blah. I think that happened. But it hasn't happened on an individual basis for me either, wherein if I'm walking around town or in a grocery store or anything like that, no one has said a thing to me about not
this
having
is this is coming from, and I've seen plenty of it on social media.
Oh, well, see, there's the problem. When you say social media, you mean Facebook.
Correct.
Interesting, because I'm not there. I don't see any of it.
Where they're able to hide behind their protective bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen plenty of it.
Sure. Well, I've seen plenty of that on Facebook as well, but it's a cesspool of idiocy.
Did you see the picture of our city councilors? 13 of them. There's a whole wall of them. They're all wearing their masks and on the city of Keene's Facebook page.
Are they photographed in the same room, or
no? They're all in separate rooms, probably on Zoom and whatnot.
Zoom
they all got their masks on,
okay.
and the request is, please wear your masks. It's for your safety, not your
on Zoom, whether in their own living room.
Yeah. And they're complaining about their haircuts and whatnot. And one of the counselors is like, I even wear it when I'm jogging.
Yeah,
and I saw that. And she real nice person, by the way.
Yeah,
I've
sure
been in contact with her. But good God Almighty, I'm serious. It's not about the science anymore. It's not really even about the virtue signaling. It's about politics now. It's because the other team isn't wearing their mask, which happens to be the conservatives, the Republicans, and it's right now it's just two tribes fighting each other, and we are caught in the middle.
Yeah, most of the Republicans that I know, I think, are advocates of wearing masks.
Really?
Yeah.
I've met a couple of them, and actually, but most of the people who aren't wearing, or who say I will never wear a mask, I will never take the vaccine, are actual either independent free thinkers and or conservatives.
What about your experience, Ben? Do you come into any of these silly mask-wearing people who go jogging in their mask and hold Zoom meeting in their masks?
I haven't seen anyone doing a Zoom meeting in their mask. I did see one person jogging in their mask, but most of the people I see jogging aren't wearing masks, which is the logical thing to do. And the only time I really shake my head at it, like when I'm in the grocery store and whatnot, is when people my age, 20s, 30s, the fatality rate for people my age is just much lower.
It's non-existent.
Well, okay, so they're to defend what they're saying. Not that I agree with it, but just to kind of take their position is, well, they're wearing the mask to protect other people. So it's not that they're worried about getting the virus. They want to make sure that they don't transmit the virus, and they believe that that's helping with that.
But if they don't have the virus, they can't transmit it.
Well, they don't know, because you can have it and not know, because it can be that benign to people, right? Like, it's not the worst virus in the world. There's a good chance you can contract it, and it will never show you any symptoms.
In which case, what's the problem with letting it spread?
Well, that elderly people could pick it up and die.
You're a murderer, Aria. You want to kill. You want to kill old women.
Stay the hell at home.
And that's the point. If you're really afraid, because there's plenty of elderly folks who they're like, I just want to live. I just want to go out. We've had them call this show. They've called and they've said they think this is all ridiculous, and they're willing to take the risks. So if somebody's afraid of what might happen, they should stay home. It is not our responsibility to change our life, to restrict our freedom because somebody out there is scared. I forget who said it, but it was a great line, and I wish I could give credit to whoever it's due, but your freedom, or excuse me, my freedom doesn't end, or rather freedom doesn't end where your fear begins. You don't have to put my in front of it. So just freedom doesn't end where your fear begins. I love that one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, but let's think about this realistically, though. That your cashier or your supermarket worker who's wearing his mask to protect old grandma.
Well, they're wearing it because they're told to.
Yeah, but if you've ever I went in Home Depot the other day, and I was watching some cat walking back and forth. He was the cart guy.
A worker? Okay.
And every time he was far enough away, he would reach up, pull his mask down so he could breathe.
Right.
And I've seen the cashiers, the tellers, I've seen them all doing this. Yep. They're touching their faces, they're touching their masks every 20 seconds, and then they're going back to handling money and handing it to you. So basically,
show.
So yeah, they may be asymptomatic. But they've got this piece of cloth on their face that they're spitting into all day long, and it's just a germ bag, and they're constantly touching it and fidgeting with it, and then they're giving you their money, or taking money from you, and they're just spreading it all over the place. So it's even worse.
It probably is, yeah.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for the call. Conan, have you tried wearing one of the masks?
Yeah, when I'm installing insulation in my attic or when I'm drywalling, yes, I want to keep all the foreign materials out of my body. No, I have not worn a mask because I was fearful that I had a cold and I was going to give it to the people around me. No, I haven't.
I've done so briefly, and I understand that people would be touching their faces constantly as a result because they're uncomfortable. These are not suited. They're not custom fit for people's faces, so they're constantly sliding down. I mean, if you breathe too hard, you're going to blow the mask off your nose or off your mouth or whatever. So it's going to have to be adjusted, in which case the point is completely defeated because you got to wash your hands afterward. And it's just, why don't you just take the stupid thing off? But, again, that's not going to keep them from infecting others if they are asymptomatic. It's going to keep them from catching it, right?
No, wearing a mask?
If you're asymptomatic and you are wearing a mask, supposedly that's going to prevent you from spitting all over the guy next to you. Basically, that's it. That's the reason you wear it.
That's good in general.
But they're also saying that the virus can go through the masks.
Yeah, but at least you can't spit on the person next to you.
It would prevent that.
But by touching their faces anyway, it doesn't matter.
Now it's all over your hands, and now whatever you touch, the railing on the stairwell or the doorknob or whatever, you are spreading it all over the place even more than you would probably without a mask.
Yeah, my point is, though, that if they're touching their faces, then it's getting them infected because that's how it infects people.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault. A miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required. Only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Get healthy, not high, with 100% pure CBD powerful natural pain relief from Veterans Vitality. GCN listeners, have you ever thought about how CBD may help you? I'm sure you have heard about the many benefits of CBD. Well, here's your opportunity to try before you buy. Created by veterans and for everyone who deserves better choices, our CBD is derived from organic hemp, grown in the USA and third-party tested. Veterans Vitality CBD saves you as much as 25 to 50% over our competition, and a portion of all sales is contributed to veteran nonprofits and events. Many of our customers have experienced improved quality of life, help with anxiety, PTSD, and overall well-being. Our products do not contain THC. They are safe, non-addictive, effective, and 100% legal. GCN listeners, get your free trial bottle of premium CBD by simply paying shipping and handling at GCNFreeCBD.com. That's GCNFreeCBD.com. Again, GCNFreeCBD.com. Offered by Veterans Vitality Premium CBD.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And what's going on with the USD? Because I know you had something related to that and how, just money in general is being screwed around with in unheard of ways for the United States.
Yeah, I've never used Kitco's services before. I can't speak to whether they're any good or not, but they're sort of one of those gold companies. They're known for providing gold, prices, spot prices, things like that.
Okay.
Frank Gistra is the author of this opinion piece featured at Kitco.com titled "The U.S. Dollar, the Final Act."
The final act.
The unthinkable is becoming ever more likely. The end of U.S. dollar dominance and the beginning of some new form of global monetary system will soon be upon us. It was bound to happen at some point. The story of reserve currencies is long and stretches back far into ancient times, but as modern history shows, the average lifespan of reserve assets is around 100 years. He says, the end is always caused by overspending on wars, overconsumption, excessive debt, and easy credit. Sound familiar? I was asked about this.
Sounds very familiar, yes.
In an interview last summer, and my response was that while it's inevitable, the decline of the U.S. dollar was still many years away. Of course, that was before the COVID-19 pandemic and the U.S. fiscal and monetary response to the crisis that it created. And again, I will point out that the created crisis was all the fault of the government. Because had they just let this happen, whatever it would have been that happened from COVID-19, I don't think you would have seen the insane results from people. People would not have been freaking out. They were instructed to freak out. They were essentially brainwashed programmed into freaking out.
And they also believe that they're going to get bailed out. The individuals and the businesses and the corporations believe that no big whoop. We can take 3 months off. We'll get bailed out. And
I don't know how many of them actually believe that that's going to be the case.
Well, look at all of we just read a poll about how people are ready to take monthly UBI checks.
Yeah, they want the check, but I don't know if that means that a business owner thinks they're going to get bailed out.
Well, and a lot of these same individuals claim that they are not ready to go back to work because they're afraid. They're afraid of getting it. But I'm telling you, if there wasn't a bailout, a lot of people would come to their senses.
Sure.
They'd be like, I got to pay that rent. I got to pay that light bill. I can't take a week off, let alone 3 months off.
But when they're getting $600 a week bonus for unemployment, then
there
they
you
want to
go.
stay.
There you go. They want their unemployment check, and they don't want to go back to work.
So Gistra says, I doubt we'll emerge from this calamity and its prolonged economic impact with the current system intact. Why? I'll try to put it simply and focus only on the important big-picture dynamics. Seemingly overnight, the novel coronavirus has brought the global economy to a standstill. And again, it's the government that did that. And the United States is experiencing unemployment levels not seen since the 1930s. The difference between then and now is the sheer scale of the U.S. government's reaction to the pandemic. It's unlike anything we've seen in our lifetimes. In effect, its approach has been to do whatever it takes to ensure the system does not implode. Translation? There is no limit to deficit spending and money printing. It's an understandable and predictable reaction. The problem is that we've entered this crisis devoid of the necessary tools needed to rescue the economy without destroying the U.S. currency at the same time. And as far as what those tools would be, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what Gistra believes, but the tool to rescue the economy is to get the hell out and leave people alone and stop telling people how to run their business. Stop telling people what to do.
Letting people be productive would be, I mean, that's all an economy is, right? Is people doing stuff and producing stuff and trading
based
the stuff
on their incentives.
Yep. Unless the plan is, in fact, to wreck the economy and to wreck the dollar. And I do believe, and it's about, like Aria mentioned, it's about power and about control of the population. But I believe it's an intentional wrecking of the economy so that they can, so that the phoenix can rise from the ashes into a new entity.
Well, I mean, what happens when the inflation is going on is it's a huge wealth transfer, right? So you're transferring wealth from people with savings to the people who are politically connected.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically you're milking whatever value still exists in the dollar. And we've seen that it's gone down dramatically in value over the last 100 years. I mean, basically ever since they took away the gold standard and so on. But the value of the dollar has dropped precipitously. And over that time, it's not like the value from it has disappeared. It's just been transferred.
Yeah, but I don't know a lot of people who are into savings, period.
No, I
know more people who are into real estate than they're ever into this. No, I got some extra cash in the bank. It's going towards a new house.
There's a disincentive to save, and as inflation continues, the disincentive to save will get stronger. You'll want to spend the money as soon as you get it,
and that's your paycheck to paycheck people. It's so many of them out there. So this whole idea is, and there you go. It's what we learned or did not learn in indoctrination camp school. We never learned about inflation or what inflation actually is.
Nope. And
about saving.
At least the two of you learned anything in your economics class. My economics class was a half-semester class, and it was taught by a football coach who basically played Remember the Titans.
I don't remember taking an economics class, period.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you much else about it. He says, I started writing about this eventuality back in 2001 when the first signs of the kind of monetary and fiscal behavior that would lead to ever-increasing moral hazard became evident. I said then that rising deficits coupled with tax cuts and artificially low interest rates were setting the stage for financial accident. We got that in spades with the 2008 financial crisis. Despite its devastation, we were spared a depression similar to the aftermath of the 1929 crash because the Fed printed a lot of new money to create a floor to underpin the economy. But there's eventually a price to pay for all that money printing, and others, such as famed hedge fund manager Ray Dalio, voiced the same concerns. To soothe this uneasiness, the Fed assured the public that this was only a temporary policy, and that as soon as the economy stabilized, they would normalize interest rates and take all the extra money out of the system.
Yeah.
But it's always temporary.
They never did, he says. Last year, I wrote 2 articles warning my readers that we were in the near-term danger of another financial accident. And I don't know if calling it an accident is really the right
not the
term.
right word.
This is planned. He says, so what might trigger the next crisis? And why? So he said this at the time. So what might trigger the next crisis, and why won't we have the tools we had in 2008 to prevent a total collapse? The next crisis can start out of nowhere. It can be triggered by the failure of a financial institution, a made-at-home political crisis, or a serious geopolitical event. Anything that removes the cloak of confidence that the entire financial system is based on, unquote. I would never have guessed a pandemic would be the trigger event, but the cause was never the point. It was bound to be something. The response by the U.S. government in 2008 set us up for this next crisis. Specifically, quantitative easing and other policy measures continued beyond the point at which stability was reached. The effect was to create overheated markets and render the traditional tools for influencing monetary policy ineffective. We were destined to be in trouble once the next crisis came. Cue the COVID-19 pandemic. The policy response to COVID-19 and its ensuing effects on financial markets and the real economy was akin to the bad guy throwing his gun at the protagonist when he runs out of bullets. It began with over $2 trillion of newly printed money, which we talked about earlier tonight.
And we're talking about another 3.
That will certainly be increased, and a fiscal stimulus plan of another $2 trillion that's likely to increase to $4 to $5 trillion. Democrats and Republicans are united on this, and I don't see us ever going back to sub-$1 trillion deficits. Unchallenged massive deficit spending is much too easy. There's no debate on where this money will come from. In fact, the money needed for all this stimulus doesn't exist. The government needs to borrow it, and there aren't enough real lenders in the market to buy all of those treasury bills. For decades, the U.S. has been able to fund its deficits because the rest of the world was happy to invest in U.S. treasuries in order to sell Americans their exports, a vendor finance, if you will. With treasuries yielding effectively zero and money printing in overdrive, I don't think foreign buyers will continue to fund American profligacy. So what does that mean? The Fed comes to the rescue.
That is the trick. And by the way, China's not buying anymore, but they are buying property and they are buying Hollywood. But as far as our treasury bonds, no, I don't think that's a thing anymore.
So the Federal Reserve's job, as he points out here in the next paragraph, is to be the buyer of U.S. government debt of last resort. So if they can't sell it to China, if they can't sell it to a business, if they can't sell it to mom and pop, these treasuries that fund their operations, their expansion, then it's the Fed who does it.
This is just how ridiculous the monetary system is. When we're talking about the concept of the United States government selling its debt to other institutions.
That's what we're talking about.
It's selling a liability, essentially.
Well, it's a promise that the government's going to fulfill what they owe.
Yeah, and it's an investment to these people.
That's not a promise that I would trust to be kept. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone? You forgot to download our archive? and you have no data connection, you can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat.
Gold is trading at $1,751. Silver at $17.80. And Bitcoin is trading around $9,677.
Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news,
Clear Biometrics wants to force employees to submit to daily facial recognition checks. That headline comes from Activist Post, which reports that Clear's plan to force employees to submit to daily facial recognition tests and daily health quizzes before they can go to work will destroy any lasting thoughts that Americans had about their privacy. Axios.com describes how businesses can profit by linking employee personal health to their faces, saying before businesses can effectively reopen, workers and customers need to be assured that they're unlikely to encounter coronavirus infections. Linking COVID-19 to IDs could make that easier, but to be fully effective, it requires a more vigorous and reliable testing regimen. Clear's facial recognition health surveillance program forces employees to submit to Clear's real-time health pass quizzes. Employees will be asked to download the Clear app on their smartphones and then enroll in the so-called free service.
Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin.
Your news now continues. The actual number of people who stand to benefit the most from last month's CARES Act could fit into Dodger Stadium and still have plenty of elbow room to catch any foul balls that might come their way. Mid-Press News reports that just 43,000 of the richest Americans who are making at least $1 million a year were handed a $1.6 million average windfall by provisions included in the bipartisan bill by Republicans. Sections 2303 and 2304 of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act temporarily suspends a limitation on tax deductions for capital gains and other non-business income, effectively handing hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the wealthiest Americans, worth an estimated $80 billion in 2020 alone. On Friday, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats introduced a massive $3 trillion stimulus package called the HEROES Act, named in honor of the monies allotted to frontline emergency workers. The new bill also seeks to repeal the egregious provisions included in the CARES Act. Artist Maria Farmer is believed to be the first of Jeffrey Epstein's victims to attempt to report the wealthy pedophile and his friends to police. And now she is working on a series of paintings all about the elites and their crimes. Her most recent painting is entitled FBI Diagram. It depicts a dead Jeffrey Epstein in a flying saucer, with his still free co-conspirators playing out various scenes in other parts of the painting, including Ghislaine Maxwell as a reptile inside of a giant plastic bubble, with a property of FBI tag hanging off of it, likely symbolizing the lack of action from the FBI and other authorities. The painting also shows Alan Dershowitz without pants on, putting his finger over his mouth to shush the victims. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website
offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
In local news, 23-year-old graffiti artist Adam Zane has captured the heart of 19-year-old college sophomore Jessica Tisselow. Zane, who goes by the graffiti handle Slice, met Tisselow last summer at an annoyingly self-aware dive bar where the talentless artist caught Tisselow's eye with his cliched sleeve tattoos of trite Japanese imagery and the fact that he was wearing a winter hat indoors in the middle of June.
His art is really just the absolute worst. I think we're going to get married someday.
And now for This Week in Tech, brought to you by LG. An excited groom sends text messages to his buddies during his bride's vows, and a collection of VHS tapes are held onto for one more year. In other news, a burglar makes sure to crack the glass on a family portrait before leaving. There's nothing in the employee handbook about groping dead co-workers, an employee says, and a report finds that nobody's heard from David Blaine in a while, so somebody should probably check to see if he died in one of those things. Mere seconds have passed, yet we feel as though we've known you 1,000 lifetimes. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And, you know, all three of us in the room, I'm pretty sure, have believed for at least several years that the United States dollar was doomed. I mean, just based on economics and history, all government currencies eventually die.
Every one of them.
Yeah. And I mean, which isn't a bizarre prediction. Every government eventually dies. Every nation eventually dies. And, you know, there may become a new one.
Can this one happen already?
Every culture eventually dies. It might take a little longer than a government or a nation, but yeah, even cultures go away. Go far, far away.
Well, this one's overstayed its welcome.
Yes, I would agree entirely. And because of all of the inflation that's happening right now, because that's all the government knows how to do, right? Whenever it has a problem, all it knows how to do is spend money. And because it's the United States government, it spends debt, which isn't money, but don't tell the government that.
Well, it is for them. I mean, that's what a note is. Right? A note is not just something you pass in elementary school to somebody. A note is evidence of debt. When you borrow money from somebody, you write a note, right? There's a note that says that. The Federal Reserve note is evidence of debt. That's what you have in your wallet.
Which is why Bitcoin is so much better, because there's no debt attached to it.
That's right.
You have to wonder about these politicians. Do they understand what borrowing constantly, every single time they want to they want to hand out gifts to their friends or to the people, do they really understand what creating the debt that your grandkids are going to have to pay unless something happens in between?
I think
if they do, they don't care.
Are they completely disconnected to reality?
They may be disconnected. They may just have no concept of what they're doing economically. Or they're just so sociopathic.
Yes, are they in fact psychopaths? And
there's a good chance of that.
And they are
I think by
predators who are
psychopaths,
basically feasting on the blood of their victims constantly. It's just how they roll.
It's sick. Well, they'll take care of their own people. You know, their family will be taken care of. They got the pension and all the bennies. So they're good to go. They'll get all kinds of speaking
and the book deals.
Yeah, all that stuff, man. Radio shows. They get all that stuff.
It's all about power.
Well, according to Google, a psychopath is a person suffering from chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behavior. I think that is almost verbatim the definition of a politician.
Yeah, I mean,
all they do is inflict violence on people.
That's true. They usually don't do it themselves directly.
They would get thrown in jail if they did that. They're too smart. for that. They're crafty psychopaths.
Well, humans had to have some level of disconnect, right? I mean, we even saw that during the Nazis and the Holocaust. Nazi soldiers developing PTSD from the slaughter of the Jewish people.
Most soldiers suffer PTSD sometime in their lives. And that's why why the suicide rate is so high among veterans.
It's horrifically traumatic to kill a person.
What's the difference between psychopath and sociopath?
So sociopath uses the word psychopathic in its definition. So this is from dictionary.com. A sociopath is a person with a psychopathic personality whose behavior is antisocial, often criminal, and who lacks a sense of moral responsibility or social conscience, which definitely describes politicians.
Yeah, but the difference that I've noticed is that most criminals in prison who have been imprisoned are considered sociopaths, whereas the psychopaths don't always get caught.
They're smarter.
There's lots of them walking around amongst us. At least 3% of the population are in fact psychopaths.
Well, psychopath doesn't necessarily mean criminal.
No, it means a person who preys on his fellow human being.
Not necessarily
because of a lack of empathy. I think that's what it really boils down to right there.
It may not be that they prey on other people, but it is that they don't have empathy, I think.
Correct.
We know a few people like that, and I'm referring to the co-host Chris Wade. I've called him a psychopath to his face, though. So
okay,
yeah, a lot of them are corporate
he completely
business
lacks
leaders.
Sympathy, though. But he's not dangerous. He's not a criminal. He's not unhinged.
Nice
he's not unsafe.
Yeah,
he's very nice. He just completely lacks empathy.
Have you inspected his basement?
Yes, it's actually pretty nice.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
it
is a nice basement.
It's got a shuffleboard court.
Does he have any storage rooms anywhere? Shelters, storage units?
Oh, there's a bunch of storage areas.
No, I mean like storage units off the premises. Where did Dexter hide? Oh, he had a boat. Does Chris Raid have a boat somewhere?
I love that Dexter show. It's a good one. So let me get back into the last bit of this story here from Kitco.com. It's all about how bad things could be getting financially here. Frank Gistra is the author, and as he points out, he predicted that this was going to happen. He said he just didn't realize that it would be this that caused the insane reaction, the COVID thing that caused the insane governmental reaction. And as he points out, the government goons, the federal government has been printing trillions of dollars already to supposedly bail out the economy. But he says that there aren't enough real lenders in the market to buy all the treasury bills that the government's going to put out there to try to sell to cover some of these costs.
Well, what is the benefit to an institution, organization, or entity in buying the federal government's debt?
They will make money off of it in theory. If the government continues to be able to pay off these treasury bills, then the person who buys them will profit.
Will make the interest.
It's an investment, interest.
Okay.
Right.
So it's like buying a government bond.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. Except when you run out of people, when everybody's like...
That's like giving the crackhead money to go buy more crack with.
But the reason they do it, though, is because they're not like the crackhead. They can tax. Right, the crackhead's got to go out and steal some crap in order to,
Well, the government does too.
Sure, but the crackhead's going to get shot.
But the government has an army at its beck and call.
So the government will generally pay its treasury bonds and such back. So as he says,
until they print that mint that $2 trillion coin.
Right.
Oh, here you go, China. Here's your money back.
Right. As I said a decade ago, the day would come the Fed, that's the Federal Reserve, would be the buyer of U.S. government debt of last resort. And by the way, that's their role. That's one of the things the Federal Reserve does. And ultimately, he says, the only buyer. All of that debt and the concurrent money printing is indistinguishable, as the debt is being monetized regardless. These decisions are being made with zero regard to future consequences. The objective is the same: to avoid drowning at any cost, even if it means pulling the lifeboat under with everyone in it. Judging by the rally in equities since the Fed took action, at least they will save the stock market, which should make the 1% happy for the moment.
Yep.
I don't think we have seen the beginning of defaults and insolvencies in corporate America yet. I think he's right about that. The idea that we will have a V-shaped recovery is fantasy, meaning that it will dive and then jump right back up is what the V-shaped recovery is.
Well, the 2007 recession took, like 7 or 8 years to fully recover from?
Is that right? Sounds right.
And that was a drop in the bucket compared to what?
Yeah, this is substantially more. catastrophic than 2007.
He says, I predict the Fed balance sheet will be $10 trillion by the year's end. I'll say it again. The Fed will never, ever be able to normalize interest rates and will never unwind its bloated balance sheet. That is a mathematical certainty. While I thought we might have crossed the next event or crossed the event horizon with respect to monetary policy after 2008, we are now squarely in the center of a black hole. Policymakers made the fatal error long ago, choosing a series of Pyrrhic wins and inevitably losing the war. I can't see how we emerge from post-COVID-19 and its irreparable damage to the reputation of the U.S. dollar without some new global monetary system. The unthinkable is now inevitable. The U.S. is making the same mistakes made by Argentina, Venezuela, and countless countries and empires throughout history. Creating a new system will not be easy, likely. It will be very messy. What that will look like is anyone's guess. Perhaps a trading unit consisting of a basket of currencies and or commodities, and of course the only currency that has survived throughout the millennia, gold. But don't look to the government to do anything with gold. They're never going to go to gold.
Yeah, I suspect whoever saves us from this, whatever establishment, whatever entity saves us from the trials and tribulations that are coming our way, they will be the ones who set up the new system, the new currency.
I would suggest that people save themselves.
That's the best option.
By buying Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Monero, any actual cryptocurrency. 855-4550 free.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
When we adopted Buddy, who is a lab, we didn't know that he can't eat like a normal dog. He has to eat sitting up. The vet said just put him down. His life expectancy maximum is 3 years. Well, he's 6 years old now, and I attribute most of that to Dynovite and a lot of love. DINOVITE.com. I heard about Dynovite on the radio and started mixing it in with his food, and it's changed everything.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Yes, he has a nice shiny coat. Yes, it helps with keeping a good, healthy weight on him. He's happy, he's healthy, and he's going to be with me for a long time because of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
We take him to the vet now, and they can't believe it. I love my dog. I want him happy and healthy, so I give him Dynovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Well, now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. So finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You make it happen and you receive the rewards. All you have to do is download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses, then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com. Commissions are instant. There is no waiting for weeks or months or to hit a certain threshold. No, as soon as the purchase is made, you get your commission. So check it out. That's anypayinc.com, anypayinc.com. Let's go to the phones. We've got Larry calling from Indiana. Larry, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello.
Are you with us?
Hey, yeah, I'm with you.
Hey, Larry.
What's on your mind?
Hello.
You're on there.
Hey, listen, I'm thinking today that everything that's happening right now have all happened before in the recent history. And in the last century, around the 1800s after World War I, the same thing happened in Germany. But that's not what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. Now we said the coronavirus kills older people and people that are infirm, right? It didn't affect the kids. Well, now they come out with a more vicious virus that attacks young kids. So what they're doing is they're pressing things into a corner. You guys talk about you want to get rid of public education. They're going to do that right now.
Man, I hope so.
They're going to do it. You're going to see the results of it real soon.
Why would they get rid of government education? It's a huge boon of money to the local governments. I mean, Conan was talking about it earlier. It's like 60 to 70% of the tax burden out here.
Yeah, those unions are never going to give it up.
It used to be half of our tax budget here in the state of Indiana, but you know what happened?
What?
Property tax caps. What that means is the burden of taking care of the operation and building funds for the public schools or a common school system, which is the districts, that tax burden was shifted to the backs of people. They took it off the corporations. Every state that's complaining
Property
now
tax is paid by a lot of people, too.
Sure it is, but corporations don't pay any property tax whatsoever. They changed our Constitution by
Well, their customers pay the property taxes for the corporations.
Well, they sure do. But listen, what happens is it's more insidious than that because the corporations can operate in our territory with getting incentive packages, also paying no taxes whatsoever. And the way they wrote the bill, the language they used was really horrifying. They said that we can't even think of even introducing property taxes on any on any corporation. Here's what the last phrase of our Constitution said. It said, as far as paying for schools, it said the General Assembly may impose a tax on the property of corporations for common school purposes. That's the phrase they got rid of. And the last phrase, and that people thought it was really funny, right?
What constitution are you referring to there, Larry?
The Constitution of the state of Indiana, and any state that has a common school system. That was supported by corporations. What happened is everybody got in on it, because when you needed to build a new school building, they would just add a mill, or you know what a mill is.
It's
that's
1%.
1/20th of 1 cent.
Okay.
So they would add that on to everybody, maybe a loaf of bread or something that was used by everybody that would pay it. Wouldn't strain anybody. But the corporation said, why should we collect that money and hand it over?
Well, corporations don't have kids. I would agree. Why should corporations pay for public schooling?
Okay, well, don't let them pay anything. Don't let them pay anything. Just let them come into your territory, exploit your people. We are.
Well, I mean, they provide me with stuff
they're providing jobs and material.
They're not providing anything.
They provide me with stuff that I like to buy.
Yeah, okay, you like to buy, but when you don't have no money, you're going to be sitting there just like everybody else, waiting on your handout check, which is not going to be that much.
Why am I not going to have any money, Larry?
You're not going to have it, because if you're the way you're getting your money, I mean, it's going to be cut off. I don't care what you're doing.
I get paid by a corporation. I work for a corporation and get paid.
You're not making any sense here, Larry. You're not making any sense.
Yeah.
I didn't hang up on him. You didn't hang up on him. He just hung up.
He was a bit all over the place there, unable to explain. I mean, sure, I understand the argument here is that the economy is going to collapse to the extent that no one has any jobs, but in which case the corporations will cease to exist anyway.
Yeah, people don't have money to buy things, and the corporation is providing, so that's going to be a disincentive to that corporation. If the people don't want to go back to work because they're collecting unemployment, they're not going to go work for these corporations, so there's a disincentive.
Well, the corporation could always pay them more.
They would, correct.
I mean, people do stuff if you pay them.
But then that would be coming out of their bottom line. So, I mean, would they be able to stay afloat?
Where's the money going to come from to pay them?
Yeah.
If nobody's buying anything, then how are they going to pay anybody to do anything? JCPenney is going bankrupt now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Simpsons predicted it yet again.
Well, it's like the guy said from Kitco, we're just barely even beginning to see the consequences here, right? As far as
that's right.
How many businesses are going to go under, how many of them are going to close, like we've seen just around in our little Keene, New Hampshire, right? Little college town of 23,000 people, 18,000 when the college students aren't here, I think. We've already seen multiple businesses, multiple locally owned restaurants close their doors permanently. They're not coming back. There was just a news story about a local bagel shop or little bagel place right around the corner from the studio. They've been open for 24 years in Keene. They've had 3 different locations over almost, 2.5 decades.
24 years. So this was not a badly run business.
Right. This was a successful business. Anytime you went to this place, it was a breakfast lunch place. Anytime you went there, there were people
that one
there.
right there on Main Street?
Nope, it's actually right around the corner here. The Main Street one, is a competitor. They're still open. But it's a little, locally owned bagel place. Sell you a bagel sandwich or whatever in the morning, and coffee and OJ or whatever. And
God,
they're never coming back.
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
After 24 years.
After 24 years, and then there's at least. An Indian food place just closed permanently. There's a Latin fusion place that's closing permanently, from what I understand. A little cafe closing permanently. So we're already starting to see the economic fallout on the local businesses, and it's not over yet.
Well, what's the deal with airlines? I mean, aren't they in an even worse spot?
I saw a story the other day that the traffic in like Clearwater Airport or something in Florida was down by 97%. So what does that tell you?
Well, that tells me they'll be getting the first bailout, the airline industry,
or the airports, or the airlines, to
keep them afloat.
And then what if you get federal ownership of airlines? What if you get the feds?
That only makes sense.
We'll bail you out, but you got to give us 10% ownership
and oversight.
I'm concerned about Vegas as a whole. And your article at Free Keene got into this. But
Penn Jillette, come to New Hampshire.
It's still closed, and that sucks.
Yeah, you canceled your trip. You were going to go this month.
I mean, it's an entertainment-based city, and it's got no entertainment, and who knows how long that's going to happen.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
The first point is it's legal, and that's important. Now, my question to you would be, they gassed Jews legally in Germany. Was that a good law?
Well, I don't know. I don't live in Germany.
Come on.
You don't know?
You don't know whether it was a good idea to gas Jews? You don't know whether it was a good idea to incarcerate Japanese Americans during World War II?
What does that have to do with them crossing the borders of the United States
I'm
of
making
America?
a point, and I'm drawing a parallel, and it's a clear parallel, and you're dodging it. Do good people disobey bad laws, Buck?
No.
Good people do not disobey bad laws?
Criminals dodge the law.
Buck, wait a second. What if they outlawed guns in your state? Would you turn yours in, Buck?
Oh, absolutely, in a minute.
You would? Well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You're a fascist. Bye.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And so, Conan, you finally took a break from gardening and started watching a new television series.
Ooh. Well, you don't expect me to be out in the yard gardening at 9 o'clock at night, do you? Well, even though we kind of have sunlight. Look, it's just getting dark now. Isn't that neat? No, I had to take a break and escape. I'm not playing any video games this month, so I found another outlet, and that was in the TV series produced by FX, Legion. It's got an 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb. It is basically it's a show based on a Marvel superhero, which I never heard of. I was not aware of at all.
What attracted you to it?
I think it just came up in my recommendations. I was watching American Gods a little while ago, and I think it happens to have some of the things coincide and whatnot. So I just saw it and decided to grab it.
Now, are you one of the Marvel fans? Do you watch all the Marvel movies?
I do watch them all, but the good news is if you're not, I think you could watch this because it doesn't really have the X-Men vibe. It doesn't have the whole superhero vibe.
So Legion is not a superhero?
He's absolutely a superhero based on a Marvel superhero.
Okay.
Now,
but it doesn't have a superhero vibe.
It does, but it's in small doses.
Okay.
So if you don't like that, if you just want to watch some trippy, bizarre cinema, this is the show for you.
What are his powers as a superhero?
Now, they're both the Marvel comic hero and this hero. Both are named David Haller. They're both schizophrenic.
Okay.
The Marvel comic book hero has over 1,000 split personalities.
Whoa.
And every one of those personalities has its own powers. And so basically, there's a reason why we haven't seen this character. I've seen some reviews on why we don't see David Haller, the superhero, because in anything up until now, it's because he's too damn powerful.
Now, schizophrenia is not the same thing as split personality disorder, correct? That's different. I think
schizophrenic is seeing things, seeing hallucinogens, people hearing voices, seeing things.
Yeah. Characterized by thoughts or experiences that seem out of touch with reality, disorganized speech or behavior, and decreased participation in daily activities. Do any of those include thinking that you're talking to another persona? That's an interior persona. This came out in 2017. There are 3 seasons. From what I've read, the seasons 2 and 3 might have fallen off the cliff. But is it still being produced, or was it done after 3?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm definitely they definitely have them in the book to start watching.
What did you watch? The whole season 1?
I watched just season 1. It's basically him. His beginnings. He starts in a psychiatric hospital, just kind of dealing with daily hallucinogens, taking his pills, talking to things that aren't there, and then things just start to come alive.
If you're on hallucinogens, right?
It's fun to watch, too.
If you're completely sober, it's probably not that fun.
Now,
so Legion meaning all his personalities. That's what the show title.
It doesn't really so far. The season 1 of this FX show hasn't really gotten into multiple personalities. Now there might be one. I don't want to give anything away, but where was I going? The first couple of episodes, 3-4 episodes, I was getting this vibe of any Philip K. Dick book or movie you've ever seen. Just the strangeness of the questioning of reality and what is real? What am I doing? Is any of this even real?
Philip K. Dick, didn't he write
Total Recall, Blade Runner?
Johnny Mnemonic, was that him too?
Yes.
Okay.
No? Maybe. There was another Keanu Reeves, Scanner Darkly, definitely. Okay. Yeah, a lot of just the questioning of reality and is any of this real? And so a cross between any Philip K. Dick book you've ever read, Jacob's Ladder. Do you remember the guy who was an MK Ultra survivor, and he was just flipping out all the time? He didn't know what was real anymore. And The Avengers, which was kind of a 1960s superhero flick. So the cross between those three, and I'm like, I was trying to put my thumbs down, and so I could describe what this feels like. But then I mean,
the issue is that I haven't seen like any of those. I've seen Total Recall, and that was the only name you dropped in the last several minutes that I've ever seen.
But then subsequent episodes just started getting crazy. I mean, just the hallucinogens and the bizarre cinema. So I just can't describe it anymore. It's just, I can say it's unique.
Okay.
It's definitely unique, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something different. It does kind of have a little bit of a made for TV feel. Definitely it has a British feel. There's only one Brit in the whole series, which is the main actor. You can't tell. You have to actually look up his bio to realize that he's from England.
He puts on an American accent.
You can't tell. He's just so good. And by the way, having said that, why is it that all of these British actors and especially Australian actors, they can pull off an amazing American accent, but why can't Americans pull off foreign accents?
Well, I mean, they can, but it's elitism. So you have the native foreign people saying, "Oh, that's a butchering of the accent," even though it's indistinguishable.
I'm a native.
We're just not pompous about it.
I'm a native English speaker.
You can't pull off an American accent. Who do you think you are? That sounds abysmal.
I'm a native English speaker, and I can't tell this guy. The actor's name is Dan Stevens. I couldn't tell you that he was British.
Yeah.
Except I could tell you that there's a British feel. Growing up watching PBS, Blackadder and Monty Python and Red Dwarf and all that, I definitely have a soft spot for that British dry humor, that dryness, and this whole series kind of takes me back a little bit.
I love dry humor.
There is that definite English feel.
Did you ever see the animated series Home Movies? Oh, it's so dry. What about you would love it.
What about the It crowd?
I've never seen it.
It's the IT crowd. Excuse me.
I've not seen it either.
There's something very similar on YouTube called Some Grey Bloke, made by this British guy. It's just so dry. I mean, older stuff is funnier. The newer stuff is all political, but the older stuff is it's so dry that you just have to be completely warped to find it funny at all. It's great. I love it.
And I'm there. I can handle it.
You should check out Home Movies, and it's a great little series.
Definitely, if you like creepy shows, creepy, bizarre, hallucinatory type shows where everything is bending and warping and you don't know what's up.
Yeah, I would like that.
And it's got an interesting plot. And a coming of an age. It's a coming of age for sure. The first season is, anyways. I definitely recommend this.
So he's a young man.
Yes.
When he starts.
Yes. But that's that.
Cool.
Legion.
Thanks, Conan.
And this is a Marvel series, you said?
It has the Marvel stamp at the end.
Okay.
So definitely it has their thumbs up, their approval. So it hasn't been ripped off or anything, or they haven't twisted the character so much that they couldn't that they could get away with it, basically, that they could plagiarize it.
Now, are you a fan of the Marvel series in general, or were you just...
He said he sees all the movies.
I watch them all. The ones that really stand out for me are the first Iron Man.
Oh, well, yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
And Thor Ragnarok. And that's about it. All the rest of them are just comic book heroes. I'll watch them and eat some popcorn and then forget about them. Yeah. But those two, basically the beginning and the end of that series, of that whole cycle, are my favorites. And I think the Thor Ragnarok was my favorite because of the director who did it, Taika Waititi, who is just talking about humorous. He's just an off the wall brand of humor. He's from New Zealand, and it's just a new type of movie. And I hope that he does more in the future.
Okay, very cool. I probably won't ever actually sit down to watch the show, but I will put it on my radar.
Do it.
You said it's called Legion, and it's on FX. Is it on Netflix or Hulu
Not
or
yet.
any streaming services?
Nope.
Then
it might be on torrents.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
It's always available on
almost
torrents.
Always, yeah.
855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
So you're wearing a mask every day now?
Yeah.
Where are you getting them?
Same website where I get my neck and body wraps, sunnybay.com.
Really?
And they're handmade, just like their wraps in the USA.
Oh, and good quality?
Oh, very good. These are disposable face masks. And they make cloth face masks, too.
Good price?
That's the best part. 10 masks for only $6.
Wow.
As a public service, sunnybay.com is now making cloth face masks by hand in the Seattle area and sourcing disposable face masks with level 1 protection at sunnybay.com. Get a 10-pack of high-quality disposable face masks for only $6 or choose a handmade, washable, reusable cloth face mask with high 2 layers of quality cotton fabrics. Supplies are limited. Get details and order at sunnybay.com, a Biomed DB design company. Go to sunny-bay.com for disposable or cloth face masks. Just click sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And man, do we have a stupid story here.
Uh-oh.
A Nebraska woman has filed a lawsuit against all homosexuals.
Well, it's 2020, COVID season. People are going crazy.
Well, I think she was probably crazy before COVID.
Probably.
So coming to us
Case
from...
dismissed, lack of standing. But I'd love to hear the argument.
You think that, yeah, I mean, that's probably...
Yeah.
The whole thing is just bizarre, though. So coming to us from NBC News, a Nebraska woman identifying herself as the ambassador for plaintiffs' God and his son, Jesus Christ,
All right.
is suing all homosexuals on earth for breaking religious and moral laws.
So God is suing its own creation.
Yes.
Right? Because presumably, if you believe in the Christian God, you must believe that God created homosexuals, right?
Well, I think they probably jumped through some mental gymnastics to blame the devil, or because they've never read the book of Isaiah or the book of Job, because they're Christians and they don't know what's in the Bible.
But this same God also flooded the whole globe in order to kill off all of the sodomites, the sinners. Yeah. And he dropped hail and fire on a lot of cities in his time.
What would they see in those books if they actually read those books?
Well, in the book of Isaiah, Yahweh, that's the Christian God, specifically states that he is responsible for all good and evil. And you find the same thing in the book of Job.
Well, you admit,
but the book of Job is a bit more esoteric about it. It's like you're trying to challenge why I let bad things happen to good people, basically. And who are you? You're just this little maggot, and I'm the creator of the universe. I exist in a world beyond your understanding. But it's the same basic message of I'm responsible for the good and the bad, and get over it. You don't understand it. You won't.
Duh. I mean, how could it be any other way? I mean, if indeed you believe that God, I'm not saying you believe this, but you Christians listening believe that God is the creator of all things, then that would mean that he would have had to have created the ugly, horrifying, evil things as well.
Yeah. Well, and this is where the mental gymnastics come in, because, I mean, obviously, in the Christian theology, God created Lucifer, and Lucifer then corrupted humanity in accordance with God's plan. But, I mean, they're Christians. As I said, they don't read the Bible. But, yeah, ultimately, all of it, if the Christian theology is to be believed, is the fault of God.
Yeah, but Ian, humankind couldn't handle the first versions of the simulation, the truly peaceful utopias. They just couldn't handle it. They couldn't understand it. They needed that pain and suffering to make it real. Otherwise, those are just dead batteries. Those are batteries that didn't work. They woke up from their They took the red pill and they woke up.
Elon Musk says take the red pill.
Oh,
he made some headlines this week.
He is making a lot of headlines this month, this whole year actually.
Did you hear the Matrix creators mad about it?
I too wish that Elon Musk would go away. I mean, I see too many libertarians like, oh, yay, he's fighting for freedom. Dude,
he's not a libertarian.
He didn't give a crap about your freedom when he was taking those billions of dollars from the U.S. government.
And still is.
He just cares about Elon Musk.
Yeah, he is the worst example of one of these corporate billionaires who just wants to put people back to work at their own health risk so that he profits.
So that he can achieve his vision.
So that he can
whatever
achieve
that might
his
be.
bigger financial statements.
I don't know. I don't think Elon's after that. Bill Gates, maybe yes, but I think Elon is more about his vision of
People
stuff.
don't accrue billions of dollars unless they're after billions of dollars. That's not the kind of thing that happens by accident. You don't just wake up one day, I accidentally made $5 billion yesterday.
I think his billions are a means to an end. I think he has a vision.
He's clearly a man with a vision.
And my question is he a good guy or not?
Well, he did the right thing in that he called out the California government and said, come arrest me, basically. He said, I'm on the line with everybody. He was working the factory or whatever. I got respect for an owner who can get on the line with everybody else and, make the pizzas or make the cars or the batteries or whatever it was that, he's doing. I don't know a whole lot about this guy. I don't appreciate the fact that he's a corporate welfare queen. He doesn't seem to be particularly libertarian, but he did call out the Federal Reserve. He called out the current financial system in a tweet.
And he's called out the COVID nonsense as nonsense.
Yeah. So he's on the right side, at least on this particular issue.
Yeah.
But I do believe you are correct, Aria. I think that his intentions behind all these tweets, all these proclamations, are in fact to get back to what he wants to do. What Elon Musk, the individual, wants to do.
And he should be able to do what he wants to do, just as the rest of us should.
I just don't think he's helping the public perception of libertarians when they start cheering for him.
Is he even calling himself a libertarian?
I've never seen a libertarian say that he's a libertarian.
I've seen that happen.
No,
really?
Libertarians aren't claiming that he's libertarian. They're claiming that, he's good right now because he's fighting for freedom. He's fighting for people's rights to get back to work or whatever. And he's like the example of, like Sununu opening the golf courses whether or not it was the right move is kind of irrelevant. It's really bad optics. And holding up Elon Musk as some sort of champion who's fighting for our freedoms when all you hear from the left is you're just corporate shills trying to go back to work for your corporate overlords. And then Elon Musk comes out and is pretty much exactly that. And libertarians, many of them on the cesspool known as Facebook, are praising this guy.
My concern with Elon is that he is on the same team with the people who I despise, the Bill Gates of the world. He's on the same globalist team.
You think he wants to force vaccinations?
I think he's playing good cop. I think he is offering this other side of the coin to give the people hope to actually just like this. You remember the cop we brought up last week, the one that supposedly was questioning the cops who were breaking the Constitution and whatnot. Turns out he was fired 3 years ago or whatnot. He's a total fake. I think that. And what was that all about?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Well, I mean, I think his whole. I'm concerned that Elon is not who he says he is. I think that he is just
a space alien.
He might be no space lizard. That
the reptilians are from England, right?
From England?
Isn't that right?
I don't know where they're from. I know the crab people are from the center of the earth.
I know that from watching South Park.
I don't know if the lizards are.
South Park is my historical documentary when it comes to the crab people.
They need to do a lizard show. I'll watch the hell out of that. Get on it, Trey Parker.
So speaking of lizards, in this suit entered into the docket as Driscoll versus homosexuals.
And where was this? Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Okay.
Sylvia and Driscoll, 66, of Auburn, Nebraska, asked in a 7-page, neatly handwritten petition that U.S. District Judge John M. Gerard decide once and for all whether homosexuality is or isn't a sin. Now, it blows my... And that was the reason I brought this in, not just the stupidity of it, but this supposed Christian woman is going to a human judge and asking this human judge to declare whether or not something is a sin.
Oh,
she's
lady.
not going to her priest.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Well, isn't this how the Karens of the world operate? They go to the manager.
Well, it's how the religious of the world operate. Sure, I mean, for the Christians in the United States, for them, the state and Christianity have just merged into this entity where, of course, the district judge here is best suited to declare whether or not something is a sin.
Because they swear on a Bible, right?
Yeah, and the state is their God.
Although I've never seen the Bible get brought out in court in New Hampshire.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Do they do it in
maybe
like
maybe in the
southern
South?
courts?
Yeah, maybe in the South, but not here.
I've been to court in the South, and I never swore on the Bible. I mean, there was a whole, I do swear to tell the truth.
Right.
But it was never place your hand on this Bible.
The swear line does say, "So help me God," I think, at the end. Which you can also avoid doing.
I don't think I said that.
Right. You can avoid that, and you can say, "I affirm," rather than "I swear." Because some religions are against swearing, like the Quakers.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
You'll have to ask the Quakers.
Okay. Good. Fair point. So the suit doesn't cite any case law under which a judge could make such a determination. In fact, it cites no court cases at all, quoting Webster's dictionary and numerous Bible verses,
of course,
to bolster the central contention, which is that homosexuality is a sin, and that they, the homosexuals, know it is a sin to live a life of homosexuality. Why else would they have been hiding in the closet?
Well, where's her petition to outlaw the eating of pork and shellfish?
She probably doesn't know that's in the Bible.
She hasn't gotten that far yet.
I don't think they ever have any intention.
Isn't that the Old Testament?
Right, it's right next to homosexuality. I think it's in the same chapter.
Well, they can throw out most of the stuff they don't like.
Yeah. So she writes that she's 66, and she never thought that she would see the day
More coming up.
This COVID-19 thing has turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it has changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They are fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,751, silver at $17.80, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,677. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Clear Biometrics wants to force employees to submit to daily facial recognition checks. That headline comes from Activist Post, which reports that Clear's plan to force employees to submit to daily facial recognition tests and daily health quizzes before they can go to work will destroy any lasting thoughts that Americans had about their privacy. Axios.com describes how businesses can profit by linking employee personal health to their faces, saying before businesses can effectively reopen, workers and customers need to be assured that they're unlikely to encounter coronavirus infections. Linking COVID-19 to IDs could make that easier, but to be fully effective, it requires a more vigorous and reliable testing regimen. Clear's facial recognition health surveillance program forces employees to submit to Clear's real-time health pass quizzes. Employees will be asked to download the Clear app on their smartphones and then enroll in the so-called free service. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The actual number of people who stand to benefit the most from last month's CARES Act could fit into Dodger Stadium and still have plenty of elbow room to catch any foul balls that might come their way. Mid-Press News reports that just 43,000 of the richest Americans, who are making at least $1 million a year, were handed a $1.6 million average windfall by provisions included in the bipartisan bill by Republicans. Sections 2303 and 2304 of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act temporarily suspends a limitation on tax deductions for capital gains and other non-business income, effectively handing hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the wealthiest Americans, worth an estimated $80 billion in 2020 alone. On Friday, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats introduced a massive $3 trillion stimulus package called the HEROES Act, named in honor of the monies allotted to frontline emergency workers. The new bill also seeks to repeal the egregious provisions included in the CARES Act. Artist Maria Farmer is believed to be the first of Jeffrey Epstein's victims to attempt to report the wealthy pedophile and his friends to police. And now she is working on a series of paintings all about the elites and their crimes. Her most recent painting is entitled FBI Diagram. It depicts a dead Jeffrey Epstein in a flying saucer, with his still free co-conspirators playing out various scenes in other parts of the painting, including Ghislaine Maxwell as a reptile inside of a giant plastic bubble, with a Property of FBI tag hanging off of it, likely symbolizing the lack of action from the FBI and other authorities. The painting also shows Alan Dershowitz without pants on, putting his finger over his mouth to shush the victims. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Pushed to the breaking point after constantly being taken to task without ever hearing a word of thanks for what it does around here, an overwhelmed and infuriated nation announced in February that it was trying, okay? Jesus Christ. A poll of the American populace revealed that 33% felt they were doing pretty damned well, thank you, while another 28% just wanted 2 freaking minutes without somebody breathing down their neck.
We're trying as hard as we can here. How about cutting some little slack for a change, huh? You know what? This is just bullshit. I do not need this shit.
Christ Almighty, sources added. God distanced himself from the entire right-wing fundamentalist Christian movement, saying that he did not believe pregnancies result from his divine will. The Almighty Father went on to dismiss capital punishment, gun rights, the anti-abortion movement, and the efforts of the Westboro Baptist Church, while adding that he and Christian conservatives, quote, no longer saw eye to eye on the majority of issues. And physicists discovered that the entirety of our known universe is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And evidently, the government has decided that you don't have the right to not be injected against your will. Is that correct, Conan?
It sounds to me like this particular lawyer, Dershowitz, claims that...
That's one of OJ's lawyers, remember that?
Trump's lawyer and OJ's lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
He claims, according...
I'm sure there's nothing insidious about that.
According to court precedents in our past, claims that you cannot... you have to submit to a forced vaccination.
Now, when they talk about precedents, do they mean like being able to bar you from public schools and crap like that if you're not vaccinated?
Well, I mean,
or do they mean that the government can literally come to your door, kick it in, and inject you with something against your will?
If the authorities decide that you are a risk to the community, you can be taken from your home, driven to a clinic, and forcibly stabbed with a needle of whatever vaccine they decide is what's going to prevent you from being a threat to society.
Now, don't they use this same sort of thing at DUI checkpoints to forcibly draw people's blood?
I'm not sure how common that is at DUI checkpoints, but they do have, in some places, they do have blood draw capability, like in a mobile unit of some sort they can.
I'm just thinking about the video of the nurse as well. That nurse from several years ago, when the police came in trying to, forcibly take someone's blood, and she was like, "No, this person has rights,"
and they
you can't do
tackled her.
that.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
But didn't she win that case? Wasn't it
think.
found that was in fact unconstitutional?
Mhm.
Excessive force,
I believe
and yeah, I think she was completely within her right. But this is different because that was just one person, and he was unconscious.
The guy was.
But that was just one guy. What happens? And he wasn't a threat to anybody. What happens when you have your entire community, the entire country, and you've got some Yahoo anti-vaxxers running around spreading disease? We can't have that. We've got to. If they're not going to submit, either they leave the country, or they never leave their house, or we're going to put them in a van and we're going to drive them to the clinic.
Well, there's so much speculation in that. Look, I mean, if there was evidence that I was spreading a deadly disease, that I was a threat to others simply by my presence, okay, that's one thing. But for you to just say, "Oh no, you are a human being and therefore you're a threat to others and you have to be vaccinated," that's very different.
That's why I said the authorities. And
Right.
now who are the authorities getting their information from? The Faucis of the world. There are plenty of physicians, doctors,
Well, I don't think Trump is
immunologists.
getting his information from Fauci. doesn't seem to be.
He's talking about when the vaccine comes, he's going to use the military to roll it out.
Who is?
Trump. Who knows what team he's on? I don't know. But
Well, he's not on my team.
But and just like the data, just like the charts, the information that we have on the COVID has been changing constantly. Wear your mask, don't wear your mask. There will be a vaccine. If we do get a vaccine, it might be more damaging than just nothing at all. I mean, all of them are saying different things. Birx is talking about you can't trust the CDC. I mean, who knows what's going on? It's just going to come down to some vaccine coming out early, way too early to be truly tested as safe, and some tyrant is going to decide that it needs to happen. I hope that it comes to the same way that all the other viruses in the past couple of decades have come. They were talking about vaccines this, vaccines that, and before you know it, when they finally unrolled one, the virus had been long gone, and no one was even talking about it anymore. And I'm hoping this Rona is the same, and that we don't have a second wave, which I think that we will. But I hope that we don't, and so it's off everyone's radar, and we're arguing about something else.
You know,
what do you mean by that?
Oh no, you're absolutely right. We did not. Well, we did. We had just like we had a regular flu season.
Well, who is we?
The U.S., this country, and other countries,
parts of the United States,
the entire globe.
Parts of the entire globe.
The entire globe that was suffering through their
because
their
here in
flu
New Hampshire
season.
there have been like 150 deaths, and I'm not going to call that a wave of coronavirus. You know,
but it was a wave. It was a larger death rate attributed to influenza / Rona / flu than in previous months.
By what, 1% though? I mean, how many people in New Hampshire die of the flu anyway?
During the summer?
It's not summer.
Not yet.
No. I'm talking about.
It's barely even spring.
I'm comparing the wave to the off season.
What?
And I'm.
Why would you do that?
Let's
compare the wave of the flu in the middle of January to the non-existent wave of the flu in July, Conan. That's bizarre.
No. You're asking me what the wave is and why it's even. I'm saying you're saying 100 deaths doesn't constitute a wave, and I agree. But it is a lot larger than, say, one death in the summer. 150 deaths in January, February, March.
Well,
versus
sure, but
one
that's
death
apples and oranges.
To the whole scheme of things, yes. But you asked me how they define their wave, and it is a slightly more deaths in the flu season versus the off season.
I follow what you're saying.
And
But whether there's
compared to every other way you could die, the fact that they're even talking about vaccines, period, has me concerned, especially when they're talking about the fact that it's not going to be the typical vaccines that we are familiar with. It's going to be the new mRNA vaccine that's actually going to change our DNA proteins in order to be able to combat this virus. It's going to be it's a completely new, untested on humans type of vaccine, and that is what I am fearful of. I think. Talk about lizard people. I don't know what this could lead to. This is dangerous territory. It might be the new frontier. It might be the way to do things. It might be crippling. It might be, if you're a depopulationist like Bill Gates, it might be exactly what he wants to get rid of a few billion people off this planet.
Are you saying that you think the vaccine itself will kill people?
I know that Bill Gates' vaccines have killed a lot of people. Talking about India and Africa. Who India doesn't want having to do with Gates. I think that if they got their hands on him, they would throw him in jail forever.
Really?
This guy, the vaccines, and he's already talked about the percentage of people who will not succumb well to his new vaccine. He's already talking about there's going to be deficiencies.
I think there's going to be a lot of pushback against a mandatory vaccine, at least here in New Hampshire. I mean,
I don't see it happening here.
They're already talking about...
Not from the mask wearers. Not from our city council.
Oh, well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, the obedient folks are going to line up. But
they'll be.
But they don't need it to be mandatory.
They'll be voluntarily piling into those cattle cars.
They sure will.
To be shipped off to the clinic.
Sure.
And they'll love it. But my fear is... because the quarantine is ending, kinda. My fear was that it would go on for so long.
I sat at a patio at a bar and had a drink today.
My fear was that it would go on for so long that the people would willingly get it just to end it and go back to the beaches and go back to work. But it seems like we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We might not have to. This might be something that is a forgotten memory. And now we're going to have to worry about food and businesses you worked for the last 20 years or owned and operated is no longer in operation. And what the hell are you going to do now?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the optimism that you hope this becomes a forgotten memory. I just don't know if... I mean, there's been so much mental kind of abuse directed at people over the last couple of months. I mean, this is going to do some damage. All of the way that people have been treated, this mandatory mask stuff, all the hoop jumping at the businesses. I mean, it is... I don't know how soon it's going to get back to normal, if it does get back to normal.
And that's what I was talking about. We can worry about the real problem. The COVID is not the Rona is not the problem. I'm hoping we get over that so we can start actually facing the real issue that has been heaped on our shoulders and our children's shoulders for a long time. It's going to take a long time to get out of this mound of crap.
This is Free Talk Live.
When we adopted Buddy, we didn't know that he has to eat sitting up. So that said, just put him down. DINOVITE.com. I've heard about Dynamite and started mixing it in with his food. He's happy, he's healthy, and he's going to be with me for a long time because of Dynamite. I love my dog. I want him happy and healthy, so I give him Dynamite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils Plus, a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And if you're looking for something to do this year, well, you can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June the 29th until July the 5th for ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest is happening the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And ForkFest is decentralized, so no one is in charge and there's no ticket cost. All you have to do is reserve your camping site, your RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June the 29th until July the 5th. And we're better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire. You can just relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you want others to have. If you're planning an event, though, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Again, that's forkfest.party. I'm looking forward to it. It's evidently going to be my first vacation of the year because COVID-19 has stopped all the others. Let's go to the phones. We've got Joe calling from Houston. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Hey guys, listen. I think I want to warn you guys that when the so-called second wave of coronavirus hits around the fall, I think it's important that we all stock up on canned goods now, because when the media blows it up, everybody's going to be in panic mode at the supermarkets, and the food is going to run out, and it's just going to be hell on earth. So I think it's important that you guys as well stock up. You know, I want to see you guys live on and survive this pandemic.
Good advice.
Thanks, Joe.
And toilet paper. Don't forget the toilet paper.
Yes, all that, please, guys. It's very important.
Well, it's critically important
Now-
for sure to stockpile massive amounts of toilet paper.
Now, truly, Joe, how do you feel about the second wave, and do you even think it's coming? And how are you planning for it?
Listen, man, I've been watching a lot of prep videos. I've been watching a lot of prep videos on YouTube, and you know what? Hate it or love it, but even Alex Jones has been telling the truth about this. Don't you guys agree? The InfoWars has been, on point with everything going on.
I don't know if Alex Jones ever being on point with anything.
Alex Jones is controlled opposition. You mean Bill Hicks? Controlled opposition. I think a lot of what he says over the years is true, but he's such an idiot. He's such a overhyped individual.
Well, did you see the video of his Y2K invasion, whatever, where he was broadcasting for over like the course of 15 minutes about how he was seeing Russians invading the United States and stuff like that, just obviously fabricating the stuff out of thin air, right?
If it's not a Alex Jones meme making fun of him, I haven't seen it.
Okay. No,
This was Y2K. You're talking about 20 years ago.
this was one of his older videos before he was even popular. And it was just saying insane, off-the-wall stuff like that got him where he is. And he's never stopped saying insane, off-the-wall stuff. Now, his feature-length documentaries like The Obama Deception, things like that, they are generally good, hit and miss facts-wise,
right?
But generally good for viewing.
Well, I think he hurts the movement horribly.
What movement?
The truth movement.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, listen, I want you guys prepared, okay? That's what I really care about, and all your listeners.
Cool. Thank you so much, Joe. I would certainly advise people to prepare as well. Of course, doing that right now is likely to be impossible. I mean, if this is the big one, as you and I have disagreed about, then it's already too late for the vast majority of people.
My Amazon purchases are taking a lot longer, but I have spent more money in these first 4 or 5 months than I did all last year on stuff. So it is possible. You can get a little bit done if you have the money to buy the stuff that you need to survive the next wave. If this isn't the big one, or the big one is just right around the curve.
Well, a lot of Americans don't. They don't even have $500 that they can pull out of the bank.
Well, they had $1,200. Some of them did. And what do they do with it?
What do they do with it? Yeah.
They spend it on.
What did they do with it?
I don't know.
I
It's
don't
a great
know.
question.
I didn't get it, so I don't know. I haven't even decided what I would spend it on if I even do get it. What did you bought dresses, Aria? Dresses and
I did not buy dresses with my government bribe. No.
Did you buy crypto?
I did.
There you go. Yeah, crypto and more ammo.
Crypto and gold.
And if you already have,
I think I bought some gold with it.
I
as
saw
well.
a good post the other day, and it was like, "Why you guys keep buying more weapons?
What do you mean?
You got 15 damn rifles. You need ammo.
Yes.
Spend that
People are
12
buying
on
ammo. Don't worry, that's happening too. It's been
Well,
sold out.
I know that the my usual merchants are out of everything that I want. Every time I go to their sites, the ammo that I want is not available. It's out of stock.
Well, you should spend some time with other people you may know, because I mean, you can get ammunition.
There.
So
that's the hard part, Aria. That's the hardest part. That's harder than having the money to spend on it.
What's the hardest part?
Spending time with people.
I mean, you can have a quick 2-minute conversation
quick
about
in
it.
and out.
Yeah, I mean, we both know people who have ways of acquiring ammunition.
Well, I like to be correct, but I don't want to take from their stock. I want to keep.
Yeah, you wouldn't be.
Well, in that case, we need to talk.
Yeah. So a top lawyer, the guy who defended Trump during his Senate impeachment trial, believes that the Constitution grants the government power to vaccinate citizens against their will. Speaking with Crowdsource the Truth host Jason Goodman over the weekend, Harvard professor Alan Dershowitz said the public safety outweighs any private liberty concerns of U.S. citizens who do not wish to be vaccinated for the coronavirus.
Wasn't Dershowitz buddies with Jeffrey Epstein?
Weren't they all buddies with Jeffrey Epstein? Every damn one of them. Gates, Trump, Biden, Clinton. All of them. They're all in it. Bunch of psychopathic pedophiles.
Let me put it very clearly. You have no constitutional right to endanger the public and spread disease, even if you disagree, he said. I think he's wrong. I think I do have the constitutional right to endanger the public. The problem is I can't do that without equally endangering myself. So why would I? Right.
Yeah, I don't know if the Constitution addresses that.
But I would argue that I have the right.
The Constitution is a set of rules for the government to follow. The Constitution is supposed to be, they don't follow it. They don't care.
It's just in their, it's not in their way any longer. It might have been 100 years ago, but it's not really been a problem for them coming up with all these wacky decisions.
No, and I don't know what he's basing his claim that it's constitutional on, but I imagine there's the general welfare clause or something like. There's a real generic line in there that the government has.
You would think the 14th Amendment would protect you from this, but his conclusion is based on Jacobson versus Massachusetts, which was back in 1905 during the smallpox vaccine. There was an individual, Jacobson, from Sweden, who refused to take the vaccine. He had already had it earlier in his life, and his family did as well. He did not react very well to it, and he refused to have anything to do with any vaccine ever again.
What'd the court say?
The court says, sorry, brah, you're getting it. And we're finding you, and you're getting it, and I have the actual court's decision coming up after the...
Coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up.
There's more to talk about regarding Dershowitz, too, and his insane claims. 855-450-FREE, as in freedom.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. This COVID-19 thing has turned the world upside down. Regardless of what you believe about it, it has changed our lives. But what's not changed is that if you own a business, you need to advertise to reach new customers or clients. Our audience is not the kind to stick their heads in the sand during a crisis. They are fully engaged and more active than ever. Special advertising packages are available to you to help you not just recover, but thrive. Email my sales manager, Matthew at freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night.
from there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
An Intercoins team spent the last decade helping communities release apps to unite their members and coordinate social activity. Now communities can release currencies to coordinate economic activity. They represent a soft but voluntary power, encouraging people to spend the currency on local goods and services that accept it, or to support the community with small fees when cashing out unused coins. Towns already do this to battle globalism, and festivals can create an extended online community that transacts on their own year-round. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in the real world. We think that's important here on Free Talk Live, so important that FTL accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Inc. for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You can invest in the project and potentially make big gains, or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. Again, that's intercoin.org, I-N-T-E-R coin.org. Let's go to the phones. We've got Dave calling from Michigan. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good afternoon, or good evening, gentlemen. How you doing? I just want to thank you. You made me go up and get the Read the People book. It's a Constitution book, civics class, back in high school, and I've been studying it, and you guys are doing a really good job, and I just thought I'd share a couple things with you here. There's actually two framers that came from New Hampshire, John Langdon and a Nicholas Gilman, that were framers of the Constitution.
Okay.
So what else does your civic book talk about? The civic book that we never studied in our high schools.
Oh, it says there's separation of powers, checks and balances.
Oh, that's simple as a lawyer.
You don't believe that, do you?
Pardon?
You don't believe that whole separation of powers claptrap, do you?
Well, it's part of the Constitution, my friend.
So what? They don't care.
They don't, and that's the thing. And the sad thing about it is a lot of people don't care because they're sheep. They're sheeple. And it's sad.
So what good is the Constitution if it has no mechanism for forcing the government to actually abide the Constitution? Because I mean, right now we're in a state of affairs where governors are effectively legislating with these executive orders, these emergency orders about who can and can't be open.
That's correct. But, you know, it's like I said before, get busy living or get busy dying. And if there's enough of us out there doing the things that we're supposed to do, they don't have enough cops and to stop us.
That much is true.
That's very true, sir.
And it doesn't take a whole lot.
What you got to do is you got to go out there and you got to assert your rights and make them put a gun on you.
Well, I mean, it's not comfortable when that happens, but you're not wrong. You know, people do need to assert their rights. I'm actually working on a piece at freekeen.com blog post all about this, about how business owners need to reopen. They just need to go out there and do what they want to do, reopen the way they think is best without asking for permission, without jumping through all these arbitrary hoops that these government gangsters are putting up. Because as long as people keep going along to get along and keep trying to appease the man, we're never going to have a chance at being free. And it doesn't have to be all the business owners. 10% of them would be enough to overwhelm
usually,
the system.
in getting anything done in this country, all you need is 10% of the population to rise up and do it, and usually it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's a lot easier going down to Central Square and having a smoking joke and have your little get together than it is if you're, because really nothing is on
There's
the
no
line.
risk.
It's just you.
Yeah.
But if it's your building,
right,
if it's your company,
your investment of $1 million or whatever you've poured into it,
and the municipality or the state or the feds might come after you, and because they have all the power and the money of printed money that they can just keep printing and printing. They could take you to town.
I mean, they could do anything they wanted. That's an irrelevant thing, and we don't even need 10% of the people to reopen their businesses or whatever. We just need a handful of them to.
Which would be
and
10%. So
no,
800.
we don't need 10%. We just need a handful of people willing to do it. We've seen it in Texas. We've seen it in Michigan. We've seen it in California. All we need is one or two people standing up
more
and
than
opening
a
their
couple
doors.
is better,
No,
because they
sure.
can cut one person's head off.
But they didn't. Not with Elon Musk. They tried it with the
He is a
Elon
huge.
Musk, but he's a
huge business.
Yeah, they tried it with the restaurant owner in Michigan. They tried it with the barber in
Which
Texas.
restaurant
all
owner
of them
in
have
Michigan?
had their charges dropped. And all of them have been.
What about the Colorado
and
restaurant?
And now the governors have come out and said, oh, yeah, we're not going to press charges against these people. We're not going to send in the police to kick their doors in and arrest them and haul them off.
Yeah, but they didn't say that we wouldn't fine them. So
True.
When you look at what the Texas governor, when he spoke out about that salon owner who you were referring to, she was arrested, released from jail under the Supreme Court of Texas's order.
With a fine. Still with a fine.
Well, no, the fine is separate from the court order, right? So the court, or at least is my understanding, the court order said, well, actually, there may have been a fine on top of her.
But some senator or someone said he was going to pay it for her.
That's true. The court did say that it was essentially like a habeas corpus release. So they released her with the expectation that she's going to come to some sort of a hearing later. So they haven't even made up their minds about that.
Right.
That was just like, okay, we'll let you out. You're on bail, basically, was what that was. Then the governor said, oh, well, I am shocked, I say, that they've actually they put someone in jail because of my orders. I didn't see this coming. And so then he says, well, there shall not be anyone that will be put in jail because of violating my orders. But he didn't say that you wouldn't be fined over violating the orders.
Right.
So he still wants an enforcement of his orders.
He still wants to get reelected.
Right. He doesn't want the optics of seeing somebody or the media reporting on somebody actually going to jail. So you're right. It was that lady's defiance who forced that position to that thing to occur, and all that media that came out of it was all a good thing. There's no doubt about it. If more people would do that, you'd probably see more backing down of the state agents. But the problem with these business owners is they still believe in the system, right? They still
because these
believe.
problems are still going to exist if all they're doing is fining people. If you get 10% of the businesses here in Keene that aren't supposed to be open to open, the government has no problem sending massive amounts of fines to businesses.
Well, and that's
they won't have enough. They won't have enough personnel to do it.
If they can send out letters, no problem.
All you need is a postal carrier.
It's the enforcement of those fines. If business owners actually changed their mind and said, you know what? Who are these people? Who are these government goons, these strangers? I've never met the health department people or, the state bureaucrats that are issuing these fines, the governor's office or whoever it might be. These are total strangers writing me threatening letters. And I'm just going to ignore them like I would, ignore any letter from a threatening lunatic that threatened me or my business or whatever. And if more of these business owners would just ignore the fines, then the government would have a real tough time on their hands, because then they'd have to do something. They'd have to either send a goon squad in to block the door, to barricade the place up. They would have to send the police to arrest them if they broke down the barricade or whatever it was that they were going to. It's never even come to it. Like this has not even happened, at least to my knowledge, anywhere in my lifetime with a business owner who receives fines, because what they'll do is they'll hit you with daily fines, right? It's like $50
like they did
to
with Chelsea
$500.
Manning.
They start accumulating.
Yeah, $50 to $500 a day or whatever, and it's usually on the hundreds of dollars side rather than the tens of dollars side. And before you know it, you've got $50,000 in fines racked up. Well, now they're stealing your property from you. So, I mean, they've got all kinds of nasty tricks up their sleeves to force compliance. And as long as people still believe that the entire system is legitimate, then they'll pay the fines. Oh, well, let's have a fundraiser where our customers will pay the fines for us. Or we'll reach out to the internet.
Look at these restaurants with their increased taxes, their COVID tax.
Yeah.
Well, why hasn't all of this crap broken people's faith in the system?
I don't know.
Hopefully it is.
I mean, it's revealed it to be broken, inefficient, and completely ineffectual at everything it tries to do. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And I want to say thank you to Aaron, who is tonight's amplifier. He's a platinum amplifier, which means he gives $25 per month to the AMP program. Of course, we don't ask that. To join the AMP program, all we ask is $5 per month. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. You can find out more about it at amp.freetalklive.com. It's money that is used strictly to advertise, market, and promote the show. So if you like the show, if you like what we're doing, you might consider checking out the AMP program and becoming an amplifier. Aaron, we thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope you continue amplifying it. Once more, that's amp.freetalklive.com. Now, this guy, Dershowitz, says you have no right to not be vaccinated. You have no right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
Meaning you have no rights.
Yeah.
As long as the authority decides so, that you are a threat to your community. That's the key words. If you're just a threat to yourself, then you're safe. You have individual rights in that case, but as a community at large, you lose those rights because the herd, because of the tribe.
The problem there is that the authorities aren't who determines what rights I have and what rights I don't have.
Well,
they think they do.
Well, if you don't like the authorities currently in charge, Aria, you need to vote them out and vote one of yours in.
I'm my own authority.
That's typically how we go. You know, who rules you? Who really rules you? Well,
I do.
In my case, I rule myself.
There are plenty of people who claim to rule me, such as His Excellency King Sununu, Donald Trump, the Congress, all of these people. So Goodman, the radio host or the podcast host, it's unclear what they were actually on, then questioned him asking, are you saying the federal government has the ability to mandate vaccinations for all citizens? Absolutely, Dershowitz replied, and if you refuse to be vaccinated, the state has the power to literally take you to a doctor's office and plunge a needle into your arm. So you don't even own your own body.
Nope.
In the eyes of this lunatic.
I look at the drug war. That's a key right there. Is I think that if you're talking about...
There's a huge difference, though, between telling someone they can't imbibe something and forcing someone to imbibe.
It's the same principle.
And in fact, that's even worse because when you ingest some said drug, who are you really hurting? Just yourself, and yet someone has decided that you can't even hurt yourself.
That's why suicide is illegal.
At least in Dershowitz's case, he's talking about you actually hurting someone else, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to honestly have body autonomy and body self-ownership until suicide is legal. As long as that's illegal, you don't own yourself. You don't own your life, and you can't because the government has a higher claim to it and says, hey, you can't end it. So that's what a democracy is all about, Dershowitz said. If the majority of the people agree and support that for public health measures.
By the way, we're not a democracy, first of all.
Oh, whatever.
Well, we're a democratic republic.
What's the damn difference?
Majority rule. I mean, that's kind of what
the majority elects representatives who then vote, and the majority of them rule.
That's kind of what's happening. But to protect the rights of the individual.
Well, they don't seem to be too concerned about
that's
the
what they
rights of the
That's what they say. That's what the whole
that's the whole claim about a republic is that they have rights, but I don't see it.
So in that case, they're both not working well.
Of course not.
The democracy wouldn't work at all, and the supposed democratic republic, which is supposed to protect us from bull crap like this, isn't doing such a great job.
Nope.
Well, it was never going to. I mean, that's
what they said their intentions were back almost 300 years ago, 250 years ago.
So if the majority of the people agree and support that for public health measures you have to be vaccinated, then you have to be vaccinated. They should give you an alternative. The alternative is to live in your home. Don't get vaccinated, but never leave your home or live in a bubble. But if you want to interact with other people, you cannot become Typhoid Mary. The Constitution doesn't give you the right to spread your illness to other people.
And by the way,
Constitutions don't give rights.
And by the way, I'm going to reverse that and go back to the argument we had last week. If you are so fearful of this nonsense, you need to get yourself a bubble or stay in your house forever and ever, amen, because that's in my minds that is the right tactic, the right solution, because most of us aren't fearful of this nonsense.
At least most of us on the show. But that's the tactic that those of us who appreciate liberty would appreciate. But that doesn't benefit the authoritarian statists.
No.
The authoritarians are behind what he's saying, and his, Dershowitz's plan, what he's outlining there, is what they want.
It is.
I want to make sure I understand this. So he says the Constitution doesn't give me the right to spread my illness to other people. I assume by illness he means COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And by the way, it doesn't say anywhere in the Constitution doesn't say that this is a Supreme Court ruling.
Well,
this is a court precedent that has decided that this is the way that things will be handled.
Well, of course, the Supreme Court's
over
part of the
100 years
state.
ago. So yes, it's not actually written in the Constitution anywhere, but it's a Supreme Court ruling.
Well, it doesn't matter. The Supreme Court's always going to side with the state.
Yeah, he's going to argue there's some sort of, like the general welfare clause justifies this. And I imagine that's what the Supreme Court argued as well in that case. We didn't get into the details in that, exactly what it was that they said in that opinion. But that's just going to be my guess.
Well, and I, first of all, there are a lot of things that have been decided throughout this country's history that were not, laws, actual legalities that didn't turn out so great, like Jim Crow laws or slavery in general. I mean, things can change.
And the Supreme Court's opinions changed.
This ruling is over 120 years old.
Doesn't mean that it won't be held up when they try it again.
Basically, they said that the court held that mandatory vaccinations are not arbitrary or oppressive so long as they do not go so far beyond what is reasonable or what was reasonably required for the safety of the public. And that decision was a 7-2 loss for this guy Jacobson. The court actually wrote that in every well-ordered society charged with the duty of conserving the safety of its members, the rights of the individual in respect of his liberty may at times, under the pressure of great dangers, be subjected to such restraint to be enforced by reasonable regulations,
well,
as
it's reasonable,
as the safety of the general public may demand.
And what was this an excerpt from? The court case?
This is the actual court case.
Yeah.
And that real liberty for all could not exist under the operation of a principle which recognizes the rights of each individual person to use his own, whether in respect of his own person or his property, regardless of the injury that he may do to others.
Because that was very legalese, and I lost it about halfway through. So he's arguing that people cannot have liberty if they have the right to make their own individual decisions.
You can't have individual rights
because of the group.
If you are a threat, if you are a threat to the community, your individual rights are out the window. They don't matter. They don't matter anymore.
Rights in favor of the group. And this is the doctrine of necessity. It's a legal concept that, when it's necessary, and of course they decide when it's necessary.
Of course,
that they can remove your rights.
But they also decided if it was reasonable.
Yeah. And that's what they determine.
And I'm going to come out and say that some experimental vaccine that has never been tried on humans before and that you've rushed through the system, that's not reasonable at all.
Well, your idea of reasonable is different than theirs, isn't it?
Obviously.
Unfortunately, they're the ones who make that decision.
Right. And that term reasonable is a loophole by which you can drive a Mack truck through. I mean, anything that they say can be considered reasonable from their perspective. Because to them, it's reasonable to uphold their power, and it's reasonable to oppress people's rights in favor of the supposed benefit to society or the group, whereas to us, that's completely unreasonable because we care about individual rights, and they don't.
And they have the majority on their side. The majority think it's reasonable for people to be vaccinated, reasonable to wear masks, reasonable to social distance.
Yep.
And those are the people who are upholding the system through their faith in it, regardless of how broken and bad the system ultimately is when it produces people like Donald Trump and Joe Biden, two of the most senile old men you will ever hear speak. And those are the presidential candidates. They're so senile that you see Vermin Supreme with the boot on his head. You think, oh, thank God we have a sane, normal candidate.
I hope we get Vermin Supreme.
By the way, fun tidbit, the anti-vax movement started 3 years after this case.
Interesting.
Anti-vax movement is over 100 years old. They've been having problems with vaccines for a lot longer than our recent memory.
Well, I hope the fight isn't over. I hope we can continue having the right to not have things injected in us. Thanks for listening. Head on over to, again, that website is app.freetalklive.com. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of